Right now, a murder on Madison's South Side leads to a Madison Police Department investigation. We'll tell you what we know. Also, 2 car chases through Shorewood Hills leave some residents with questions. And on this week's For the Record, we break down what a recent special election means for the Republican Party in Wisconsin. That's all coming up at 5:30. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Jalen Banks. Right now, Madison police are investigating an apparent murder on the city's south side last night. Officers were called to the 2800 block of Warner Street just before 6:40 late last night for a reported weapons offense. At the scene, they found the man dead inside a home. A gun was recovered at the scene, and a 64-year-old Madison man was taken into custody. He is currently being held in the Dane County Jail on tentative charges of first-degree intentional homicide. This is Madison's 9th murder of the year. 2 police chases by Sherwood Hills police this past week nearly missed tragedy. One through a playground and another ending rammed against someone's home. One neighbor who didn't want to be on camera wants to know, is making an arrest really worth the danger? Braden Ross reports.
It just rounded the corner and boom, into the house.
Saturday morning, a quiet Madison neighborhood shaken when a police chase ended in near tragedy.
A neighbor told me there was a woman sitting here on this bench just 10 feet away when a car came speeding around this corner. You can see here where it hit the curb and careened into this house.
No one was hurt, but a neighbor believes the outcome could easily have been much worse.
Given any other day, those kids might have been right out there playing. If the worst had happened, if someone had been killed in that, had been there, then how do you weigh that out? Was that worth the chase? Or is there another way to stop a stolen car?
Earlier this week, another Shorewood Hills police chase ran through a playground. The officer in both pursuits, Shorewood Hills Police Chief Jeff Farrow.
It's also part of our obligation to then stop those vehicles, because if we don't do it, no one else is going to.
He says on Saturday morning he heard reports of a possible stolen car driving recklessly near Shorewood Hills, so he went looking for it. Farrow says he watched from his unmarked squad as a car matching the description took off speeding through residential neighborhoods.
I don't think it's fleeing me, because she's not shown any indication that I'm there. But I have an obligation to try to stop this car at that point.
He says he followed it, sirens, lights, and all. And before he knew it, the driver lost control and crashed into a house.
It wasn't a long, lengthy pursuit that ended in a crash. That crash was going to happen whether I was there or not.
For the playground chase, his answer is similar.
Those drivers were driving that way before we were involved, and they were going to continue to drive that way.
He believes it all comes down to a judgment call.
It's not taken for granted. Because a lot of us have seen tragedy related to pursuits.
The neighbor I spoke to says she too wants accountability for those putting people at risk, but her concerns still stand.
We stopped her from driving erratically, right? The car crashed. But there's a bigger picture here. I still believe a conversation about when to chase and not to chase is important.
Reporting in Shorewood Hills, Braden Ross, News 3 Now.
Let's take a first look at the weather with Jacob Montesano. Jacob, it's been a bit of a warm one. Is there any hope on the horizon to cool down at all?
Actually, we're going to have the exact opposite as we head throughout the week. But before I get into the forecast, I just want to say welcome, Jalen. I'm looking forward to working with you for sure. Now let's take a look at the rainfall totals we saw from yesterday. Some parts of our area did get over an inch. Beloit 1.32. Madison specifically saw 0.91 inches of rainfall. Definitely a lot more than what we had forecasted for. We had some showers and storms forecasted, but we saw a lot more rainfall than expected. Looking at the current rain, we aren't seeing anything right now. We really haven't today. And if we look at the current temperatures, although they are warm, we have to remember that it is the warmest time of the year, so the temperatures are actually fairly close to average. A lot of the area in the lower 80s and upper 70s. As we look at the evening forecast, temperatures are going to be fairly comfortable this evening, and I definitely encourage people to enjoy this evening because this will be the coolest evening for at least about half a week, if not more. So it's going to get pretty warm throughout the rest of the week. But if we look at the low temperatures for tonight, we'll see lows in the lower 60s, upper 50s. Some parts north of Madison, well north of Madison, could even drop to the lower 50s. Now, we are likely going to see the hottest temperatures of the year so far, and it's also going to be pretty humid. I'll talk more in detail about the heat coming up a little bit later in the show.
On this morning's For the Record, Republican Paul Melodic won the special election to fill a vacancy in suburban Milwaukee's 24th Assembly District on Tuesday. Melodic won the race over Dan Nodal with a 53.6% vote. According to unofficial election results, the result, however, is less than what is expected by many Republicans to yield out the district.
But we have seen the Republican margins decline in the Milwaukee suburbs. And this is just one data point. We shouldn't read too much into a single special election in the month of July. But it is another data point showing potential problems for the Republican Party in these key suburbs. We've seen Republicans have some challenges in the suburbs nationwide. We see them having some challenges with suburbs here in Wisconsin.
To find this week's full For the Record interview, you can find it on our website at channel3000.com. The clock is ticking for a historic strike vote that would involve thousands of UPS workers nationwide. The negotiations between UPS and Teamsters have yet to reach a deal, and the current contract expires July 31st. Over the weekend, Teamsters Union General President and members are speaking out at a rally in Atlanta ahead of a looming strike vote. If UPS workers walk off the job, the effect will be historic, the largest strike at a single company in American history, a way to stop concerned UPS customers from going to rival delivery services.
Did not get a deal. UPS has chose to strike themselves, and we will withhold our labor July 31st at 12:01 a.m. But if we get a tentative agreement subject to ratification and we're going to recommend it, then we will not withhold our labor.
Yesterday, O'Brien said 95% of the contract has been negotiated, adding that UPS knows they need to pay their members, including the part-timers. According to a Teamsters spokesperson, negotiators from the two sides will meet on Tuesday in Washington. The Madison Ice Diamonds synchronized skating team opened up the rink for a cool summer day of fun today. The public skate had a pirate fairy theme, so intrepid skaters got on their best fairy wings and pirate hats as they took to the ice. The event was to help fundraise for the Ice Diamonds' upcoming season. But for the team, just being out on the ice together was more than enough.
It's just fun to host something that anyone can kind of come take part in that's relatively low cost and bring people into an ice rink and provide some fun.
The event had more than just costumes. There was also a Chuck a Duck 50-50 raffle, a bake sale, a garage sale, a brat sale, yard games, and a place to donate athletic shoes. Next tonight, a Madison man is coming home with some hardware as he won this year's Ernest Hemingway Lookalike Contest in Key West, Florida. Garrett Marshall, who recently retired as a broadcast engineer here at Channel 3, triumphed over nearly 140 other entries to win the contest's final round yesterday. Not only did he come out with the win, he actually came out on top on his 68th birthday, and just a day after the 124th anniversary of the Ernest Hemingway's July 21st birthday.
This is the best birthday that I have ever had. It is exhilarating to know that Hemingway was here and to walk in his footsteps. I think if he was here today, he would be totally amazed.
Marshall, who won his 11th attempt, shares his interest with Hemingway's work. The annual Hemingway Days festivities salute the adventurous lifestyle and literary talent of the Nobel Prize-winning author, who spent nearly a decade living and writing in Key West. Coming up at 5:30, the Dane County Fair offered activities for everyone today at the Alliant Energy Center. We'll take you there after the break.
Fresh produce is the best produce. That's why at Pick and Save, we invest in Wisconsin farmers to bring you the freshest seasonal picks. So no matter how you shop, your local produce always tastes as fresh as it gets. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
Attention, Wisconsin veterans.
I'm Tony Evers, the governor of Wisconsin. If you are a veteran struggling to pay for rent, utilities, or other life-sustaining services, I want you to know that the Veterans Rental Assistance Program is here to help. The Veterans Rental Assistance Program was created by and for people living in Wisconsin, with benefit approvals being issued to veterans in just days, not months. You have already made a most noble sacrifice. You shouldn't have to continue doing so. We are here to support you. With pride in the way, it's never easy to ask for assistance, but rest assured we are here to help. The VRAP team is standing by to help. So call 833-WISC-VRAP or visit vrapwi.com. You've always been there for us. We want you to know that we're here for you. On behalf of the state of Wisconsin, thank you.
Madison Magazine's Summer Restaurant Week is here. Participating restaurants will provide a 3-course meal starting at $30 featuring wine and more starting July 23rd through the 28th. For a list of participating restaurants, menus, and details, visit MadisonRestaurantWeek.com. It's a perfect opportunity to sample some of Madison's local restaurants. Don't miss Madison Magazine's Summer Restaurant Week 2023. Presenting sponsor, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund. Supporting sponsor, Bergstrom Cadillac and Chevrolet. Wine sponsor, Delicato and Frederick Wildman.
At Pick and Save, everyone wins when it comes to savings because you get the same great prices, deals, and rewards on pickup or delivery as you do in store. So no matter how you shop, everyone saves big. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5:30.
That's the sound of the Dane County Fair finale, celebrating with family-friendly activities at the Alliant Energy Center today. Stunt shows, rides, and games are up for Family Day. The Dane County Fair began in 1851. With over 170 years of celebration, Family Day invites everyone to continue the tradition with a long party. Eating contests, live music, and thrilling rides go on all day.
I'm a big thrill rider. I love the scary rides. Firestorm's my favorite.
There's a lot of things to do. We did a stingray exhibit and just a lot of space and not too crowded and a lot of things and activities.
The festival will end with exciting performances tonight at 6:30. The 2023 Midwest Fire Fest fizzled out today after a weekend of fiery fun in Cambridge. The Fire Fest fundraiser, presented by the Cambridge Arts Council and Clay Collective, hosted 25 fire-based artists. Visitors enjoyed 2 days worth of demonstrations by artisans and performances by fire dancers and musicians. The event is part Makers Fest, part Music Fest, and part Art Fair. But most of all, it's a huge celebration for the community.
This is not your mama's art fair. I think coming to the festival gives them an appreciation because of all the demonstrations that we do. And this year we have 8 or 10 demonstrations. People understand what it takes to create art, because it's not just the piece that you see on the wall. It's all their trial and error before that.
Looking to keep the heat to the fire workers, the event next year will move up to June. And if you're looking to add fuel to the fire for next year's fest, visit channel3000.com for information on how you can donate. Coming up at 5:30, Jacob is back with another check of your First Warn forecast, and we'll break down just how hot it could be next week when we come back.
Are you in a restaurant rut? We've got the cure.
Monday, Josh is in the 608 with amazing eateries serving specially priced menus during Summer Restaurant Week.
And we have some of the hottest temperatures of the summer on the way this week. Join us Monday between 4:30 and 7.
This is Kathy. She's about to see her dentist. She's afraid. Not because of the drill, but because of the bill. A big bill. But Kathy doesn't need to be afraid, and neither do you, thanks to affordable dental insurance from Physicians Mutual Insurance Company. It's easy to get this coverage. Don't believe me? Call or go online for all the details. You could even have this free information kit. This isn't a discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance. It helps pay for over 400 procedures. That's a lot. I'm talking cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, root canals, even dentures. Bottom line, you'll have help paying for routine care and expensive major work. But if you want deductibles, forget it. There aren't any. No annual maximum either. Plus, you can see any dentist you want. Stop fearing the big bill. Start saving at the dentist. Call now or go to sendinfokit.com.
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
Set summer in motion with the most electrifying Honda vehicles yet, like the CR-V and the Accord, both with available hybrid powertrains, designed to deliver more thrilling performance and more innovative tech. Make every adventure more electrifying with Honda, the most awarded brand in Car and Driver 10 Best history. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting nationalguard.com.
Here's your parachute.
Certain it's okay? Are you 4imprint certain?
Certainty matters, so congratulate coworkers or say thank you with promotional products from 4imprint.com.
4imprint for certain.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5:30.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this summer's historic heat wave is expected to only get worse, with about 230 million people expected to feel 90-degree or above temperatures by Wednesday. More than 110 million people experiencing severe high temperatures today. The predicted highs across the Southwest in the triple digits. South Florida remains under an excessive heat warning for the third time this week.
Under this warning, conditions can potentially be very dangerous and even cause a deadly heat stroke, even with limited exposure.
More than 3,500 temperature records have been set this month alone in the U.S., and the extreme weather is being felt across the world, with July poised to become the Earth's hottest month in at least in the last 6,500 years. The extreme weather is being blamed for deaths in several states, including Arizona, Ohio, Florida, and Pennsylvania. Let's look at your certified most accurate weather forecast. Jacob, it's been pretty warm. It seems like it's going to continue.
Yeah, and I think what you just mentioned about the rest of the United States, you know, although it's been dry, a lot of people are annoyed by the drought, but I think so far this summer, with those 100-degree temperatures in mind in other places of the United States, I think it's a time for us to be a little bit thankful for the weather we've seen so far this summer. But this week is going to likely be the hottest week of the year. It's going to be warm to start the work week, but it's going to be hot and humid, and it's only going to get worse throughout the week. We also could see some hazy weather, unfortunately, but the haze actually might bring the temperatures down a little bit because it will kind of block some of the sun rays from reaching the Earth's surface. But nonetheless, it's going to be pretty hot, but we do have the chance of some rain Thursday night through Saturday. Now for tonight, it's going to be pretty close to average still. Lows around 60 degrees, lower 60s, upper 50s, mostly clear skies. But tomorrow is when the temperatures will really start to warm. The highest today were in the lower 80s. They will likely be in the upper 80s tomorrow with partly sunny to mostly sunny skies. And then Tuesday could be the first day that we see the high temperatures in the 90s, but Tuesday is likely not going to be the hottest day of the week. It will likely be a little bit later. Now, looking at the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, the good news is that it looks like towards we get towards, excuse me, as we get towards day 10 in the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, we are going to be closer to average. So it will mostly be over the next 2 to 6 days where the temperatures will be above average, but the places to the south of us will continue to see those above average temperatures. Now here's a look at the temperature forecast for this week. Thursday will be the hottest day with highs in the mid 90s, and it's also going to be humid, so the heat index values will likely be above 100 degrees at times. Some areas may actually see the actual temperatures get to 100 degrees. So likely going to see the hottest temperatures of the year. Thursday will be the hottest day. As far as the rainfall goes, we are going to be dry probably until Thursday night, maybe a passing shower or two. But Thursday night, we will see some more widespread rain across southern Wisconsin. And then again for Friday afternoon, we'll see more showers and storms move into our area. And this could continue into Saturday as well. But it does look like by Saturday afternoon, most of the rain will clear out of the area. So here's a look at the 7-day forecast. Really, it could get to the 90s every day from even tomorrow through possibly even Saturday. Likely by the time we get to Sunday, we will definitely be back in the 80s. And then to start the following week, we are at least the following work week, we are going to see those high temperatures back closer to average. But on top of the temperatures, as I mentioned, it is going to be very humid, so these heat index values will likely exceed 100 degrees at times. If you have any outdoor plans, definitely prepare drink plenty of water, take breaks from the heat outside. I also want to point out Wednesday is Concerts on the Square, so it's going to be hot Wednesday as well. But thankfully, we are going to see that rainfall moving through. It looks like Thursday night through Saturday, although it's not going to rain the entire time, but it will drop those temperatures by the beginning of next week. So welcome to News 3 Now. You get the hottest week of the year, your first time on air.
So I just moved from southern Missouri, and the first question that everybody asks me is, oh, like, how's the weather up there? And I've been bragging just because it's always in the 90s or even reaches triple digits down there. And I'm like, oh, it's been in the 80s, it's been raining, it's so much cooler up here.
Yeah.
And then today I get the news that we're actually going to be getting some pretty warm temperatures. So
yeah, and you actually, I don't know when you moved up here, but we've also started to see the precipitation pick up over July. We actually had the driest May-June period on record here in Madison, so we've had the drought, but you know, I'll take the drought we've had over some of those temperatures further south.
yeah, for sure. All right, thank you, Jacob. And still to come, the Brewers have been playing so well, they went back to the future. Find out how next in sports with Andrew.
When it's time to remodel your home, lean on the experts at Brothers Maine for all things appliances. As Madison and Janesville's local appliance authority since 1938, our experienced staff will make your project easy from concept to completion. Better than big box, Brothers Maine has a larger selection, lower prices, and professional advice to bring your vision to life. On time and on budget. From sales to install, we do it all. Feel great about your purchases and feel like family at Brothers Maine.
You've got this. Your big moment on their big day. The dress? Another one you'll never wear. Gift? Practical. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with free overdraft protection transfers. So when you get invited to your third destination wedding in as many months, we'll be there with you.
When we first met Todd, we thought Jen was kidding.
You've got this with Associated Bank.
Madison Magazine's Summer Restaurant Week is here. Participating restaurants will provide a 3-course meal starting at $30 featuring wine and more starting July 23rd through the 28th. For a list of participating restaurants, menus, and details, visit MadisonRestaurantWeek.com. It's a perfect opportunity to sample some of Madison's local restaurants. Don't miss Madison Magazine's Summer Restaurant Week 2023. Presenting sponsor, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund. Supporting sponsor, Bergstrom Cadillac and Chevrolet. Wine sponsor, Delicato and Frederick Wildman.
Here's your parachute.
Packed it myself.
Certain it's okay?
Mm-hmm.
Are you for imprint certain?
Certainty matters, like the certainty of congratulating coworkers or saying thank you for being a customer with promotional products from 4imprint. Our expert team is dedicated to making your satisfaction a certainty.
Talk to myself.
Land the perfect products at 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain.
The First Warn Weather Team takes you beyond the barometer, only on News 3 Now.
Last night's Brewers game was one for the ages. As Craig Counsell described it, Sal Frelick's historic MLB debut gave a jolt of energy to the team. Frelick and the Brewers were back at it today with the series on the line. Roof was open at AmFam today for the first place Brewers. Crew trail by 1, bottom 3, and there goes Bryce Terang. The rookie hits a solo blast that goes a mile. In fact, it lands in the second deck, and the Brewers tie it up at 1. Then in the 4th, runners on the corners, and Wisconsin's very own Owen Miller hits one that nearly leaves the yard. It was good enough for a sac fly that scored Sal Frelick, but those were the only runs that Milwaukee could muster. Braves come back and win it 4-2, the final. Let me set a stage for you. The year is 1970. The Beatles had just broken up, and disco fever was filling the streets. And while people were bumping their boomboxes, the Brewers were setting franchise records that still hadn't been broken until now. That's where Sal Frelick comes in. In his MLB debut last night, the Brewers' #2 prospect went 3 for 3 at the dish, becoming the first Brewer to do that since 1976. In addition to a pair of unbelievable catches, Frelick's 3 for 3 2 RBI game was the first such debut in Brewers franchise history. Buckle up, folks. The Sal Frelick Show is just getting started. And in today's game, the Brewers had a remarkable streak snapped. The Crew's bullpen had tossed 28 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings, kickstarting the Brewers' electric month. It ends as the longest streak by a Milwaukee arm barn since May 1972. And even if the Crew don't catch the disco fever, they're happy to be right where they are in first place. Speaking of first place, the Madison Mallards were back in action today. And these Ducks folks, they've been red hot to start the second half. They need to keep it up, though, to make the playoffs. And it was a doubleheader today at the Duck Pond, the Lards' final games before the All-Star break. Game 1 of the Twin Bill, Mallards trail by 1, but there goes Cal Fisher. The 18-year-old from Deerfield hits a 2-run tater. He continues to play at a grade above his age. The Florida State commit locks in a Mallards win. 3-2 the final. We'll have highlights for Game 2 at 10 o'clock. And a member of the Beloit Sky Carp got called up to the big leagues, even if he doesn't play baseball. Jason Lycum, the public address announcer for the Beloit Sky Carp and formerly for the Mallards, accepted the Tampa Bay Rays public address announcer job. So next time you're down south, listen for a familiar voice. We are officially less than 6 weeks away from Badger football finally putting their jerseys on. But this week, one former Badger got a piece of clothing he's been waiting for his whole life. Joe Thomas, an All-American at UW and a member of the NFL's 2010s All-Decades team, received a gold jacket only given to NFL Hall of Famers. He'll wear those famous threads on August 5th when he's officially enshrined into the Hall of Fame.
The thing that I love about Joe Thomas is despite never being on a postseason team or ever being on a team with a winning record, perennial All-Pro and Pro Bowl selection.
And he never sat out.
Yeah.
I think he almost set the record, or did set the record, for consecutive snaps in the NFL. You got to love to see that.
For sure. All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.
At Bergstrom Automotive, you can say yes to the vehicle of your dreams without hidden fees waiting to devour you. You've been told no before? Join the Bergstrom Automotive family for the yes. Bergstrom for the yes.
Okay, guys, we're all here because US Cellular has an incredible deal. Right now, you can get 4 lines with unlimited data for just $90 total.
Sorry, just double checking. Is it really that good of a deal?
Yeah, it's a huge deal. On top of that, you also get 4 free phones.
4 free phones! Wow, I just triple checked, and that's awesome.
So go get that deal. Or at least help me clip. Did you check the expiration dates?
Oh, I can do that.
Great.
4 lines for $90 a month, plus 4 free phones. US Cellular, built for us.
Attention, Wisconsin veterans.
I'm Tony Evers, the governor of Wisconsin. If you are a veteran struggling to pay for rent, utilities, or other life-sustaining services, I want you to know that the Veterans Rental Assistance Program is here to help. The Veterans Rental Assistance Program was created by and for people living in Wisconsin, with benefit approvals being issued to veterans in just days, not months. You have already made a most noble sacrifice. You shouldn't have to continue doing so. We are here to support you. With pride in the way, it's never easy to ask for assistance, but rest assured we are here to help. The VRAP team is standing by to help. So call 833-WISC-VRAP or visit VRAPWI.com. You've always been there for us. We want you to know that we're here for you. On behalf of the state of Wisconsin, thank you.
At Bergstrom Automotive, we have a non-commissioned sales team, which is a polite way to say we don't really care whether you buy a practical Equinox, the rugged Silverado, or the speedy new Corvette. You've been told no before? Join the Bergstrom Automotive family for the yes.
Jacob, so baseball's in full swing, football's around the corner. Are we still going to see those hot temps for our Madison athletes coming forward?
Well, you know, it's hard to say for certain. It does look like, if I had to guess, I would say we probably are going to be remaining close to average like we have been the last few months. But at least for this week, you know, it is definitely going to be pretty hot. 95 is the forecast high for Thursday. The heat index values will likely be way higher.
All right, sounds good. Thank you all for joining us.